Dude, did you watch you watched that SpaceX launched the rocket today, dude? That was
Yeah, it was.
insane.
I was.
That was super cool. Did you
Yeah,
watch?
I did. I caught it about 30 minutes away from when it started, so or when it was about to launch, and
Yeah.
I watched it on Discovery like you had recommended. It was pretty cool, man. Like kind of gave you chills when it took off. Just like
Dude, yeah. I was nervous, man. At first I wasn't nervous about it. I was like real excited. I was texting you about it and you're like, "Man, I hope like everything goes
yeah,
okay." I was like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
dude. Like I hope so too." Like I'm sitting here watching it and I'm like, "Oh man, I hope everything goes smoothly. Everything goes smoothly."
yeah, yeah.
Just kind of like on the edge of my seat. It was dude, that was super cool. What was real cool is my little brother being like us being so far in age difference. He's never seen like a rocket launch in his lifetime, so that was the first one he ever got to see. That's pretty cool.
I think it's cool too. Like if you notice, like they even had like an update in their spacesuit. It looked real modern. Um,
Yeah,
like they didn't look all like just old school looking. And then the rocket just looks different too. I thought it was pretty cool. But then
yeah,
they had that thing where the Falcon 9 landed and then it like just went immediately to the boat. That was crazy.
yeah. Dude, I was really surprised at how quick that thing got back down and on there. And what was cool is before the launch, like I don't know if you were seeing like all the videos they were playing like pre-launch where they had like interviewed like people that have been working on the rockets and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And one of the I don't know her name, but this one girl they were interviewing that works there, she was talking about how with them landing the rockets back down, they're refurbishing them and they could send them back up. She said like the goal would be that they would be able to get them back down and not have to go refurbish them for a couple weeks. She's like, and then basically kind of like how air travel is right
Mhm.
now, and they could be going, up to space every, week if they wanted to type
Dude,
deal.
screw that. I'm
I was
not
like,
going.
that's dude, I'm not either. Fuck that, man. I will. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm not gonna be one of the first ones to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
I'll watch. I'll make sure that you know they're pretty successful, and then maybe I'll think about it. But
I mean, don't get me wrong.
it's
It would be
insane.
really cool to do it, but uh, first of all, what am I gonna do when I get there? And then second of all,
Float, bro.
yeah, I guess that's cool. And just the experience would be cool, but
Just yeah,
how much is it gonna cost me? And then can I afford
yeah.
it?
That's the real question.
Probably not.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
So
How much is it? Well, if you have to
yeah,
ask, then you can't
yeah,
pay,
exactly,
or however that saying
exactly.
goes. Uh,
Perfect. Show me the money. Give me that
mhm.
contract.
Yeah, I'm sure that like it's gonna be hella expensive.
Yeah. No, it's just cool though to see like we always talk about innovation from private sector companies. All the big technology in the military and NASA, it all stems off of private companies. Like the F-35 Lockheed Martin, the B-21 is Northrop Grumman, the Minuteman missile is Northrop Grumman, this rocket SpaceX. It's not the government that's pushing it. The government is assisting with funds, and then they have their subject matter experts. But the real innovation comes from paying those engineers and having a plan and having all that infrastructure to do it. And I don't know, it's pretty interesting to look at it that way. All the things we can do right
Yeah,
now.
it's just crazy to think like how far they've came just since the last time they were launching people up into space. If you really think about it, they the old spaceships compared to now, like it literally looked like a Tesla but a rocket.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it was really cool.
yeah, yeah.
But
That's exactly. And then like just seeing it go. Ignition sequences, just everything went smoothly. That was just the coolest thing ever.
yeah,
Like they had they had like the president was there, and then there was all the types of people that were out there, and um, hats off to that whole company, man. Like that's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it is really cool. I'm looking forward to what it's gonna look like, moving forward, like how, because it sounds like they're wanting to, like, regularly send astronauts up and bring them back down type deal. So I wonder, like, when they're gonna do the next one. I feel like they're gonna be launching another one probably here soon, right?
Yeah, well, they had that one prototype that just blew up. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, I did see that
Yeah,
shit. That was not a they were talking about that. They're like, "This is probably not something a good visual you want on the day that you're scheduled to launch."
yeah, yeah. Well,
But
especially for your astronauts. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's like, yeah, you should probably test that another day.
yeah, yeah.
But
No. So it
yeah.
what's
But they made them do that safety test, man, and that safety test, like,
rigorous?
I mean, yeah, and, like, they even had an explosion during it just due to the fact of how quickly that thing separated from it.
Yeah,
Like, it's crazy that, like, they never thought to do that beforehand,
yeah.
just add additional thrusters
And
like
just
that.
drop them off. They did. I mean, that's how
Yeah,
they figured out how to do it. But it just became space junk. So it would like they drop
yeah,
it in the ocean and shit like that, and go try to recover it. But
mhm. Yeah, I just it's
that's what
crazy.
like I was thinking about it. Like it, we talked about him last time, but with his Neuralink thing, Elon Musk. I was watching Jay Leno was driving with him in a Cybertruck, and
Oh, nice.
it's super nice inside, right? Obviously, the exterior is freaking weird. It looks like it came straight out of
It looks like it's from
yeah,
Halo.
like Halo, legit. But he was talking about some of the specs. He was like, "Yeah, it's bulletproof," and he's talking about how like the truck's bulletproof. And Jay Leno goes, "Well, why does it need to be bulletproof?" And Elon Musk gave him a weird look. Was like, "Why not? It's badass, right?" He goes, "That's a good answer."
Yeah, why would you not want it
Yeah.
bulletproof?
I was like, "Oh,
Ha
yeah." He's like, "I like that answer."
Hell, it'd be nice, yeah, be nice to have a bulletproof car right about now if you're in the
Why
wrong
is
spot,
that? No,
but
I'm just kidding.
just conversation for another day.
Walk around like 50 Cent,
But,
bulletproof. Be alright.
yep. Dude, did you see, though, in the demonstration whenever he was, like, trying to demonstrate, like, how, like, bulletproof the
No, it was
exterior
the
is and stuff,
windows.
and I thought the window cracked or
Yeah,
some
you know
shit
what
like
happened,
that,
right?
like,
So he talks about it
uh-uh.
in that podcast with Joe Rogan, because he asked him about it, and he said basically, he said, um, the sequence that they threw the weights or whatever at it, um, he said when they first threw it, it like it chipped the very, very bottom, of the window or whatever. So it just barely chipped it with whatever they threw. I don't know the sequence. And then they threw it again, and it was like that had destroyed that barrier. So then when they threw it, it just shattered. But it didn't shatter like a normal window. It shattered like in cubes. So
It just, like, cracked a little
yeah,
bit.
and he said that basically that when they threw it backward. They should have thrown whatever the other thing was first. Then I don't know exactly what I didn't get to. I never saw it, so I couldn't tell you exactly
Mhm.
what they threw, but basically it was like it was
It's bulletproof for one hit.
well, it's bulletproof. The truck itself is bulletproof. The window
Yeah.
is gonna take a couple of shots, but if you catch it in the wrong spot, so when they threw it,
Mhm.
they caught it in like just like almost like that. You ever like I don't know, like I'm trying to think. You ever get punched and somebody like does like frogs you? You know what I'm talking about when they barely get to the edge of
Oh,
your
yeah.
muscle and it like flat flares up.
It knots
It's
up.
kinda like that, I think,
Yeah.
is like, it just barely chipped it to where it weakened that exterior layer, and then they threw it again, and it so,
Yeah. Just hit it just
yeah,
perfectly.
that's basically what he said. He was
But
like, "We didn't plan for that," and he said, "We did so many simulations, and it never broke," and he was like, "Then, of course, when we do it on the demonstration, it breaks," so, yeah,
yeah. That's gotta
but
suck on that
he
part,
didn't seem
but
too
uh
concerned about it.
oh, no. Well, dude, people are gonna buy that truck
Yeah.
regardless, like, just 'cause of it's a Tesla truck. I mean, it it's cool. It's not for me, but it's cool, I guess. It looks nice on the inside. I can't get over the fact that it just looks like a triangle with
Yeah,
wheels.
yeah,
It looks like it looks like what a, like, first grader would draw
Yeah.
whenever you ask him to, like, draw a truck
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something,
yeah,
you know?
because it's so yeah,
So,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
just so
It looks like from
boxy,
that
but
Minecraft
I'm
game.
yeah, it really does, but I mean, the interior looks badass. I mean, real badass, but I'm not a fan of it, but I'm excited for the Roadster, though. I wanna see that come out. That's gonna be a
Yeah,
badass
I'll
car.
take the Roadster all day. Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
We need to get more people listening to this shit so I can buy one,
Get
but
a deal from Spotify or something like that.
yeah. S yeah. Mm. But did you ever end up finishing, the episodes of The Last
So
Dance?
I'm on episode 9. I haven't finished yet. Grad school has been eating
Oh,
my
okay.
time up, and then
Oh, yeah.
last night I was just playing NHL for a little while or whatever. But
Hell
by
yeah.
the time I'm
We were on a roll last night in NHL, dude. I wish we would've streamed that. That
what
was
was it, 2 nights
we
ago?
were
2 nights ago.
or 2 yeah, was it 2 night?
Thursday.
Yeah, that's right, it wasn't last night, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Last
yeah, Thursday
I
night.
I was drinking cerveza last night, but
Some brewskis.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, had trouble getting right today, but
no, I know that, like, obviously, I know the end story of The Last Dance, so I'm not, like,
yeah,
in a rush to finish it. I wanna watch it because obviously I love that stuff, but,
yeah.
I wanna watch, something I saw recently, somebody was talking about it was, is the E60 on Roy Halladay. You know how
Okay.
he died in that plane accident, and then, like, all this
Yep.
stuff came out about him being, like, going through depression and, drug abuse and all that stuff, and, I'm really interested to see because he was such a good pitcher forever, man, like, he won the World Series with the Phillies, and, him and Cole Hamels were, destroying, and I think he played for the Blue Jays before that, like, he was just an amazing pitcher, and he kinda just fell in everybody's back of their memory, after all that, so I'd like to watch that E60 on him, see how it goes.
Mhm. Yeah, have you checked out any of the episodes of that new one? They got another documentary out. They're dropping all the sports documentaries right now. They dropped that one, Lance. It's about Lance
Yeah, yeah,
Armstrong.
so I don't wanna watch it because I hate that
Like,
dude, but,
yeah,
um,
I haven't seen it
I
yet,
don't
but it dropped last Sunday on the 24th. I'm curious about
they're
watching
supposed to
it.
have a one on Bruce Lee, which I'll watch, and then,
Ooh, yeah, they're dropping a lot of, like, good ass 30 for
there's
30s.
one more, super, all-time great, and I can't
Yeah,
think of who it was.
yeah, who let me see. I'm
I
trying to find them. I know they're coming up with some, it's Be Water, that's the Bruce Lee one, and then,
Yep, Be Like Water.
Long Gone Summer
Who's that?
is the other one. What is that about, though? You didn't tell
So
me
I think
shit.
that there's a couple of 30 for 30s they should do that would be a lot of fun. They should do one on Brett Favre. They should do one they should do
100%.
one on the Cowboys in the '90s because 'cause they're crazy. Um, they already did the Miami. That was a good one. Um, they should do a more focused well, they already did with the Bad Boys, but they should do one on Allen Iverson when he was in the league with the Sixers. I would enjoy
Mhm.
watching that. And then I would like to see some early baseball. I know it's hard because the video you didn't have a lot of it, but maybe even like the Reggie Williams era or Reggie
Yeah.
Jackson era. Sorry, or
Yeah.
or Ricky Henderson. A little bit later, or
Mhm.
do one on the steroids like Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa,
Yeah.
and
Well, this is what I was about to tell you. That's what Long Gun
oh yeah,
Summer
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Listen
That's
to
what.
this one,
Okay, that
dude.
makes sense.
It's the story of the 1998 home run
Yeah,
chase between Mark McGuire and Sammy
yeah. I'm
Sosa. That one starts on June 14th. We need to, like, watch that, and it needs to be like a what do you a segment we throw in each week, dude. That's good,
I'm down
man.
for that one.
Like, that's gonna be a good one.
And then they need to
I
do one
like that one,
on
dude. Circle
they
that.
need to do one on Bones Jones. His
Dude, yes.
his struggle of life.
I definitely like the idea of the Brett Favre one, though. I think they need to do that for sure, 'cause dude, he's got so many good stories throughout his career that you could fit into, a 30 for 30, or you could even make like a multi-part series. Maybe not as long as the MJ one, obviously, but you could do like a 3, 4 part series covering, Brett Favre's career. And there would be so much good shit in
Yeah,
between there because he was such a
yeah,
character,
that's
man.
exactly
Like,
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking characters, like do one on Randy
yeah.
Moss, which I think they already did, didn't they? I
Um,
feel like there is one.
I don't think I'm not sure. If they did, it wasn't big. I don't think I watched it.
Do one on
Um,
Randy Moss, do one on T.O. would be a good one. All his
Dude, T.O. would be a really
all
good
his
one.
bullshit.
Ocho Cinco would be a good one too,
Yeah,
just to see him. Cause so Ocho Cinco was kind of cool because he was a small
yeah,
receiver,
but really
but
fast.
he was really, really good though. But he kinda got phased out when all, like, the Megatron type receivers started coming into the league
Yeah.
and revolutionizing that position.
A
Um,
a
so he kinda got phased out of
a
that,
Barry Sanders would be
but
good because that whole situation was weird. Maybe like an investigative, like what really happened, or
yeah.
Barry Sanders greatest running back ever, um, in my personal opinion.
Mhm.
Walter
Dude,
Payton.
Adrian Beltre one.
Oh yeah, I would be. We just need a movie on him.
Dude,
Him
yeah,
and
I don't
Dirk.
yeah, yeah. They just need to have, like, they just need to do a documentary called, like, Dallas Legends, have Dirk, uh, uh,
Madonna,
Mike Madonna, yeah,
Beltray,
Adrian Beltre,
Michael Young,
Nolan Ryan. We'll have to throw in your Troy Aikman, I don't want to, but it's the city of Dallas that you got
Roger
to, and
Staubach.
your Michael Irvin and all them. Just all of them,
Yeah,
dude, like, just, like, do, like, dude, you could literally make that into, like, a damn 3-season long
yeah. Well, they
documentary.
do. So
There's been so many talented athletes come through Dallas, like, sports, it's
they do
crazy.
the football. They do a life, football life or whatever. And I've seen Tony Romo, Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, Emmett Smith, Brett Favre, Michael Vick. I've seen all those dudes on there. Brian Dawkins. I've actually learned a lot about players from the NFL Network's
Mhm,
it's a football life or whatever it's called. Um, a football
mm.
life, I think is what it's called. But that's one of the best, like little like 30 minute to an hour documentaries about players that I've seen.
This is on the NFL
Yeah, yep,
Network?
yep. You can watch on Amazon too.
Oh, check
Yeah,
that out,
yeah.
check
Pretty much
that
watch
out for
anybody
sure.
like that's been good.
Hmm.
Yeah, you never watch any of those?
No, dude, I've gotta catch up on those. I didn't even know those existed because I don't really watch anything on Amazon or NFL Network, really, to be honest. But, dude, we need to watch them and just, like, pick one each week
Yeah,
or each couple weeks or whatever, and yeah,
I've probably watched
I'm
most
down,
of
dude.
them, but I will watch them again.
Yeah,
They have like
yeah,
seasons
no
of them.
problem at
They have
all.
seasons of them.
I'm even down to watch, like, I like the old 30 for 30s too. I'll watch all of those. I like to sit there and the 30 for 30s I like a lot.
So they have
Um,
8 seasons since 2011. So
damn.
they've done like Troy Aikman, Steve Young, Jimmy Johnson, Ray Lewis, Jerry Jones, Brett Favre, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Chris Carter, Tony Dungy, Joe Theismann, Jerry Rice, Mike Ditka, Marshall Falk, Kurt Warner, Peyton Manning,
This is the 30 for 30 ones or the NFL
Football Life.
Network?
They've done everybody, man.
Oh,
Joe Montana, etc., etc. 130 episodes total. Yeah.
damn. Yeah, I'm getting on that. You said you can watch it through Amazon too, right?
Yeah, I think you have to watch it through. I don't know though. I don't know how that works.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, so
Figure it
the season 9 was Terry Bradshaw, Tony Gonzalez, Ronnie Lott, and Bruce Smith. season 8, they didn't have very many last season 9. Season 8 was Carson Palmer, Lawrence Taylor, Tony Romo, Willie McGinnis, Brian Dawkins, Dwight Clark, Bill Cowher, Mike Holmgren, Chris Collinsworth, Doug Williams, Thurman Thomas. And then 7 was Dan Marino, Emmett Smith, John Madden, Wes Welker, Sam Mills, whoever that is, Jim Kelly, Larry Fitzgerald, Eddie George, Joe Gibbs, Jerry Jones, Aeneas Williams, John Randall, Swan and Stallworth. 6 was Brett Favre, Curtis Martin, etc. You get it. Pat Tillman was a really good one.
I think I've seen I think I've seen clips of I think I've seen clips of it, like, scrolling through Facebook now that I think about it, because 'cause I've seen, like, all these, like, little highlight, like,
Mm.
clips here and there, and they look like they're from, like, a documentary because there's people talking about it and stuff
They
like
got
that
a
as well, like,
they
little
got a
clips.
Sean Taylor
So,
one.
yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Hell
No.
yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Dude, did you see um, that little debate that I sent you the other day with it was said which record is
Yep.
which record is do you think out of these four is unbreakable? The Barry Bonds home run record of 762, the Pete Rose 4,256 hits, Nolan Ryan's 5,714 strikeouts, or Mariano Rivera's 652 saves. Which of those you saying is unbreakable?
Mm. Well, really what you got to do is you got to go look at the list and be like, all right, who's the next closest and how long they played. And for me, I think that Mariano Rivera saves is really difficult because pitchers degrade so fast nowadays. Um, I think at some point home runs will go back up. I think people are like, there's gonna be more like Mike Trout prototype type players. Um, I think that Barry Bonds is going to get broken. There's already been several players that have hit the 700s. It's not that um, we're not that far from it. Or 600s. I mean, whatever. But this what's the Nolan Ryan one? Is it strikeouts?
Uh, yep, strikeouts
That's a tough one.
5,714.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm right on there with you. I think the Nolan Ryan one for
Yeah.
sure, and the Mariano
Yeah.
Rivera six. I think Rivera's
They
652
don't make
saves.
pitchers
That's
like that. Those two dudes anymore.
yeah. I mean, just the fact of how long they played to
Yeah.
begin with, and how long they were at the top of
Yeah.
their game, but also too, like with Mariano Rivera, like the 652 saves, I think that one's gonna be the toughest because you have to play on a team that's gonna set you up to be in those opportunities
Yeah.
often, and then you also have to
Yeah.
cash in. So, he played for the Yankees, obviously, they won a lot of ball games, so he's gonna be put in those positions to get saves at the end of the
And
game
then
a
to
lot, and and he was super talented, so obviously he's cashing in on those
well,
opportunities. A little bit has to do with the team you're on and as well as your ability when you do have those
and
opportunities.
also the same note, like how long he played, right? Like you said. Same thing with Nolan Ryan. Um, Nolan Ryan played for almost 30 years, like 20 something years. Um, and he was at the top of his game in strikeouts every year. So it's like he had a 27-year career, right? 5,714 um, strikeouts, right? Is what we said.
Mhm.
Do you know who the next most? Randy Johnson, 4,875. To find a player,
And look at how long he
yeah,
played.
22 years. To find a player that's even in the that plays now, the only current player that's even in 3,000 is Verlander. He's 15 years, 3,006 strikeouts. Think about
Yeah.
that.
It's dude, I think no the more I think about it, I think Nolan Ryan's strikeout record is the unbreakable one. Listen to this. 7 baseball players who have been struck out by Nolan Ryan had sons, and those sons grew up and also were struck out by Nolan Ryan. Think about that. That's insane.
Mhm.
He's he's striking out multiple generations of a family. Like,
It's awesome.
that's just it's just nuts, like a crazy ass stat. That is
Well,
insane.
what's the say? So I like to do this. I like to look. Okay, we see the record, then we see the next, right? And then that can tell you. Like for me, the accumulative ones are a little easier. So there's one that I think is really tough, and
Mhm.
I think um it's the all time hitting streak, which
Ooh, yeah.
hold on. Let
What
me
is that
let me
streak? Let's get the streak right.
um let me tell you what this the next most saves in a career. So they have a 300 save club, right? So that tells you 300 is a really good number, and what's his name has double that. So you know what though, man? I don't know. That might not be that much of an unbreakable record. Like, I mean, Kimbrell.
Which one?
Well, Rivera. So Trevor Hoffman had 601, and he played 1 year less than him.
Yeah. I could see him, catching Rivera's record at some point, but like you said though too though, there is a 300 club and he was in it
Yeah.
twice in essence.
Well, we've
So,
got we've got
he's got a dual membership.
we've got three guys. Two of them are in the 300 club, and one is on the line of the 300 club. All currently playing. Araldis Chapman, uh, Kenley
Mhm.
Jansen, and Craig Kimbrell. They're all in the 300 club, and Craig Kimbrell has 346.
Yeah. Maybe that save record's not
If
as,
he
out of reach as we maybe
if he
originally thought
plays
then.
if Craig Kimbrell plays, you know, 8 more years, he'll get really close to it. But I
Yeah.
mean,
How old
he's
is he right now? Do you know?
31.
Or that's very well
Yeah.
possible. Played a
Yeah,
39.
especially like as an old man, like just a reliever, you're only pitching 20, 30 balls.
Yep. A
Yeah,
closer at that.
exactly.
I mean, if you think about it, a closer, you come in for 1
Yeah.
inning, face if it's a good night, you face 3 batters and you go
Yeah,
home.
exactly. I think, I mean, I'm not saying that he's gonna beat it, but I definitely think that one might be more attainable than we thought. But that Nolan Ryan streak is stupid.
Yeah.
So
That was
so
definitely gonna be the unreachable
Joe
one.
DiMaggio hit 56 a 56 game hitting streak. So if you go and look at all time
Yep.
hitting streaks, it's one of those though. It's it's mental. It's just like a perfect game or a no hitter. Like all it takes is that one day you don't do as well as you should have. Like um.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. 56 straight games with a hit.
so
That I
so the
mean,
most recent
poof.
memory, there's a lot from like early 1900s, 1800s. The most recent one I even see on this list. Let's do the 30 games. Your most recent, hold on. Looks like 2016. Dude hit 30 30 games in a row had a hit. If you go up the list,
That's Freddie
yeah,
Freeman.
Freddie Freeman. So if you look at 2005 to 2006, Jimmy Rollins hit 38 games in a row. He was still
Mhm.
20 games off.
Yeah, I think too another reason why that 56 game hit streak is gonna be that one's gonna be so unattainable because pitching is so much better than it was in 1941,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Like, in 1941, they had you had the fastball, the changeup.
Spit finger.
I think the split finger. I mean, they had some shit, but it was nowhere near the same.
No, like they would spit on the ball. Get some spin on that, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were the other 2
Yeah, you
records?
never
The Barry Bonds one, and then what was the other one?
Barry Bonds, all-time home runs, which I think that one's definitely gonna get beat at some
Yeah,
point, because they may not all be doing steroids now, but they're all doing some type of performance
yeah.
enhancer,
Deer antler
and
spray
they're
and
just
shit.
barely legal performance enhancers,
Deer antler
but
spray.
yeah, I mean, low grade beaver
Yeah.
tranquilizers.
Let's see. I think the dude
Let's see, where did it go? What was the other one on there? Oh, Pete Rose's, hits,
that well,
all-time hit
let's
record.
look at this all-time hit stat. All-time hits for Pete Rose. I have a jersey signed by him. I need to frame it.
Yeah, dude, that jersey's baller. Speaking of Pete Rose, man, when they gonna lift the ban?
Never, never,
When they gonna let him in?
never.
Dude,
So
such
the
horseshit.
closest current
Such
the
horseshit.
closest current player to him is 1,000 hits behind him. Derek
Mm-mm.
Jeter got to 3465. Um, and then like Willie Mays is on that list. Uh, Onus
Mm.
Wagner, Stan Musial, Hank Aaron, Ty Cobb.
Albert Pujols, dude,
3206.
I'm a big Pujols fan.
Adrian Beltre's right there.
Yeah, boy. You got Cal Ripken
Dude, that
Jr.
may never get
He's on
broken.
the hits,
Think
all-time
about
hits,
Ichiro
yeah.
Suzuki,
Uh,
how many hits he has, and he played for 23 years.
mhm. Yep, yep,
Or however
yep.
many years he
Oh,
played.
Rafael Palmeiro's on that list too, man, 3,020.
Ugh, I hate that guy.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I liked him until he decided he wanted to do steroids.
Mm. Bring steroids back to baseball. It's more fun.
So East Rose played 18 years. Sorry, he's
Yeah.
20. He
I
started
think
when he was 27 because he played in Japan.
yeah, in the major leagues, because he came from overseas. He came from
Yeah, they
Japan.
should count those. I mean, that sucks, but I guess they shouldn't. But
Mhm.
they should show
Yeah.
his Japan stats.
I'm curious on how good they were, because obviously, like, the major leagues, that's, like, the cream of the
Well, you
crop
you get some
of
good
the
players
world
from
playing
Japan.
there.
We have for years now. I mean, you had Ichiro, you had
Yeah.
like that Chanho Park. He didn't turn out as well, but
Yeah. He didn't age well. He was good,
correct.
like, he had a good
Yeah.
run and then just
He
kinda
couldn't he couldn't
fizzled.
um he couldn't sustain the heat in Texas, and then
Yeah. He had some
the
injury
beat down
problems
of the
too.
season is just so long. And
Yeah.
then
I got to see him play at the Rough Rider Stadium when he was rehabbing once. It was pretty cool.
remember Hideki Matsui,
Matsui,
yeah,
yeah, he
for the
played
Yankees.
for the, Yankees,
Uh,
yeah. Dude, we've
Daisuke
gotten some good players.
Matsuzaka.
Yeah.
He played for the Red Sox. Uh, I'm trying to think of other like Japanese, Korean players. Like,
Mhm. There were a lot
yeah,
Yu
yep, yep,
Darvish, man.
yep. I didn't want to mention him.
He
I was thinking him, but also
Yeah. He who
yeah,
shall not be named.
Shin-Soo Choo. He came from Korea. He's a good player.
Mhm.
Korea
Yep.
was the first professional sports league to start back up.
Yep. They're playing back with no fans. I saw, German soccer leagues are playing with no fans. The Bundesliga, I saw them the other day. I happened to just be flipping the channels and saw that they were playing soccer. Not a huge soccer fan, but it was just exciting to
Yeah.
see that, at least, that somebody's playing something. Technically, as we record this right now, there's the Tyron Woodley fight tonight,
Yeah.
so
I
there's
need to.
that going
I
on
forgot
too.
about that.
I did too. Yeah,
Man, that's disappointing. We need
but
to. We'll do a little fight review because I know we have a few listeners that enjoy those fights.
yeah,
He's fight. Who's Tyron?
yeah.
Who's he fighting?
Something Burns. I don't know.
I'd like to see him fight. What's his name? I know he's not the champion, but he's like the number two guy. The dude that's under him, in so he's fighting Burns, right? So in welterweight, what's Gilbert Burns?
Hmm.
Well, what's
Yep,
the
Gilbert
welterweight
Burns.
standings?
And it's actually already over. Looks like Gilbert Burns got the win by decision,
Oh
round
shit!
5.
Yeah, I just
Spoiler
got
alert.
that. Wow.
Yeah, damn.
Dang, poor Tyron Woodley.
N-
I wanted to watch him fight Colby Covington. That's who it was.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to see that fight too, just because I'm sure that they would do it. Man, that sucks that Tyron Woodley lost that. Man, I'm pulling for him because he lost the championship
To the
fight.
Usman guy.
Um, yeah, to Kamara Usman. He's from Dallas, by the way, Kamara Usman. Technically, he's from Africa. So I can't remember which country, but it's somewhere in Africa. But
Damn right.
he was on Rogan's podcast one time, and he was talking about how I guess they had migrated here, and he basically grew up in Dallas area, and I think he wrestled in high school or in college with John
Oh, that's
Jones.
awesome.
Is what he was saying.
Hmm.
Uh,
Speaking of, I've been watching. I follow John Jones on Instagram, and
mhm.
you should watch his Instagram. It's pretty interesting. He's been training his dog like a kind of like a canine attack dog, like like the
Yeah.
police type dog. He's been training his dog to do that. So he like today on one of the videos, he had a dude like obviously his friend that was acting like he was working on the house or something like that, and he had a big
Mhm.
like he was like a gardener or something, and he had a big bite sleeve on, so they can bite him. And John Jones walking with his dog perfectly normal, like they're going to the yard, and the guy put up like was gonna hit him, and he was like bite, and the dog jumped over and jumped on the bite sleeve. It was pretty cool. Yeah,
Dang, that's
he
crazy. He's raising a
yeah, well,
killer, bro.
he talked about he was like, yeah, you have a scary, intimidating dog, but does it know when to protect you and when not to, and when to stop? And so I guess he's been training his dog to attack and then to stop on command.
Oh
Yeah, I was like,
wow.
that's a good point. Like, I don't want my dog to kill people,
Yeah.
but like, what's the point of having a dog that
It'd be
protects
nice if
you?
he could, like, protect
Yeah,
you as well too, though.
yeah.
I know my dog ain't protecting shit. He gonna bark, but Whiskey will bark, and he may do something, but
I think
nah.
if you piss Clark
I'm
off,
peeping this
I
highlight
think
right
if you
now
piss,
on,
do what?
I'm peeping this highlight right now on the Tyron Woodley and, Gilbert
Yeah.
Burns fight. Dude, apparently, from what I'm seeing so far, Gilbert Burns dominated Tyron
Mm.
Woodley,
Mm-mm.
like, pretty, like, bad. Like, oh. Yeah, I'll have to flash this clip up on on our YouTube whenever we're dropping it. But listen to this stat line on it. Let me pull it back up. I had it. So it was by decision. Um, there were no knockdowns, surprisingly, but Gilbert Burns had 156 strikes to Tyron Woodley's 65.
Dang.
He he struck him by almost 100 strikes, and then he had 83 significant strikes to Woodley's 28, and then he got 2 takedowns and a submission attempt. I mean, it wasn't like didn't seem that like he like knocked him down or nothing like that. He took him down, but it seemed that he was
Dominating.
pressing him pretty hard.
So my
Yeah.
question for you is, and for our listeners, if they want to respond, is there an unbeatable in the UFC right now? And who do you think it is?
Mm, hmm. So let's see.
I got two
Unbeatable,
straight that come to
unbeatable.
my head.
Hmm. I don't know if there is a unbeatable per se. I think there's a not damn near impossible, but
Tough to beat.
very improbable to beat. John Jones
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, he's just a freak. I mean, anytime you have a reach that he
yeah.
has and the athleticism that he has and just that killer instinct that he possesses, dude, I mean, for sure, probably unbeatable.
A beat for
Um,
me as
but
well. I don't know how you
yeah,
beat that guy.
Khabib's a freak, but I don't wanna say he's
Yeah.
unbeatable. I think he
I
can
think
be
on the
beat.
ground, he can't be
I
beat.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, he definitely can't be beat on the ground, um,
That's it.
which is the hard part because he likes to take it there. But I think he can be beat. It would be very
Like,
tough
I was
though.
just looking through YouTube and, Joe Rogan, I guess, was on talking to Justin Gaethje. I don't know how to say his name.
Gaethje,
Gaethje. Yeah, talking about strategy to
that
beat
was the
Khabib.
dude that fought Tony Ferguson last
Yeah,
UFC.
he's talking about strategy to beat Khabib with him.
Yeah. I listened to a little bit of that episode. It was pretty good, dude. Just listen to like their training techniques and
How does he
everything
say
like
his
that.
name?
Um,
Gaethje? Okay.
Gaethje,
Oh, I sound
Justin
like a
Gaethje.
dumbass.
It
Yeah,
looks weird, dude. It's a weird
yeah.
looking name. But no, he's pretty cool, like, listen to. They were talking about how he's such a good striker and he didn't have he from having no experience with striking when he first started to how he is now. Like he was a wrestler in college, and then when he got out of college, he started fighting.
Mhm,
He basically did no training whatsoever other than his normal wrestling training, and was winning fights that
mhm,
way, and ended up rising up. Then he started working on his striking, and then he ended up beating Tony Ferguson the other night, and without a single or the other night, it was like a couple weeks ago, but he ended up beating him without a single takedown. Just straight up just beat the shit out of him the entire fight. Broke his orbital bone.
dude, and Tony
No striking to breaking Tony Ferguson's orbital bone.
I
That's
like seeing
insane.
Tony Ferguson get beat. I don't like that guy.
Yeah, you don't like
Nah,
it? Dude, he's a weirdo,
yeah,
man. He's
he's,
weird as
like,
fuck,
all,
dude.
like, goofy and trying to I don't know, man, I'm not into that. Mm.
Yeah. I think I think he's the dude that always thinks he's cool, but nobody
Yeah,
likes.
yeah. I can think
Like,
of a couple.
uh,
Mm,
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, that's what I think of whenever I see him. I'm not a big fan of him. He's a weird dude.
the,
Who are you?
what was it?
I was gonna say I don't think I got your unbeatables. You said Khabib,
Yeah, I'd
and
say
then
Habib, like, he is damn near hard to beat, man, and, like, I mean, he just retired, but Henry Cejudo looked like he was pretty unbeatable there for a minute.
yeah, he had a good stretch. It's hard to say because he only defended his title
Yeah,
like
I
once.
know, he's
So
smart,
once he became the double champ, he defended it and was like, all right, I'm
smart.
out. So yeah,
I mean, he wailed
but
on, TJ Dillashaw. I mean, he made him look like
mhm,
a fool. So,
yeah,
I wish Connor was better on the ground. You know, I'd like to see Connor dominate. I just don't think he can compete
yeah,
with Habib on the ground, man. I just don't see it. You know, he just I don't think he can do it. Like I think he can be close and be better, but if Habib takes him to the ground, he's just gonna own him the whole time. That sucks.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what happened in their
Yeah,
last fight. He took him to the ground. I mean that was crazy because they said that Khabib, like, he was so pissed at Connor that fight that when he was on the ground on top of him, he was sitting there and he's like, "Let's talk now." Boom,
yeah,
hits him. Let's talk now. Boom, hits him. Like,
yeah,
just dude talking shit to him and just having his way with him on
yeah,
the ground. He couldn't
yeah,
compete with him. He couldn't compete with him on the
yeah,
ground. But that's because he's a pure
yeah,
striker though.
absolutely.
And
That's why he would be good in like the old school like kickboxing leagues, like the old Pride
mhm,
and all that stuff. Like, um,
yeah.
where he's just smacking people around. Because the angles he takes
Mhm.
when he punches are just so good.
Yeah. Speaking of Conor McGregor, um, I'm not sure if it's legit happening, but it's rumored that him and Anderson
Yeah. Oh
Silva
yeah, I did.
are
I
gonna
heard
be
he
teeing
accepted
off.
that fight. I wonder if that's real.
Dude, yeah, they said like he's accepted it, but I don't think it like as in like verbally accepted it, but I don't believe they've
Contract.
actually set a date
Oh,
and
I think Connor's
contracted
gonna
it
whip his
out.
butt. I It's sad to
Yeah.
say that.
Uh
Maybe Anderson like 7 years
I
ago, but
yeah, I think that as well. That's what I was about to say. I don't know though, man.
okay, okay.
Anderson's old, but
Remember the
dude,
last old guy
I
that Connor fought? Beat
Yeah,
the shit
true.
out of
Yeah,
Cowboy Cerrone, like
yeah, in just
yeah.
about a minute.
I'm just saying, like
Like,
Anderson is a
true.
really good, like, still an amazing fighter, like, he's good, but
Yeah.
Connor is at that other level. It'd be like, you know, Chuck Liddell or, Rampage after they've been out for 10 years coming back and be like, "Let's fight Anderson in his prime." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, there's a chance they could land
That's
one, but is it likely?
that's what I think so crazy is why does McGregor keep taking these fights with
He's
these
smart.
old guys?
He
That's
wants
what I
money.
wanna
He don't
know.
give a fuck about actually
He's
winning.
just it's just funny to me though, because it's like he's doing the UFC
Yeah,
reunion
yeah,
tour right
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Like, he's gotta go fight all the old guys.
Well, I think the one sport that you
But
don't get worse when you're old is golf. Like, you could be
oh,
an
for
old
sure.
dude, and I see those dudes just hitting it low and letting it roll, and they score really like,
Yeah.
yeah, you may lose some distance, but you can
Yep.
still kill it on the course.
Oh, 100%. But, yeah, UFC or MMA
It's
or
the
any type of
age,
combat sport
yeah,
is not a good idea
and
when
you get
you're
your
old,
bell rung
like
one too many times, and it's over.
yeah. Yep.
Screws you up.
Have some pretty bad CTE when it's all said and done. Yeah, you can't be
Well, and
doing that.
they don't
But, I
take
mean
nearly as many punches though as a boxing. Like boxers take just hundreds and hundreds of punches, and UFC can, but typically they're when they get knocked out,
yeah.
they're done. Like they're not getting punched again. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Speaking of boxers, dude, have you seen the training videos of Mike
dude, he
Tyson?
looks good.
Dude, how old is he now? Like, I
50s.
mean, dude, he is throwing
He looks
miss
well.
rockets.
Not
You
only
know,
is he
he
throwing, like his boxing still is good, which I never doubted. Even if he was, Mike Tyson 4 years ago when he was fat and out of shape, I still wouldn't want to get hit by
Mhm.
that dude. But like, if you look at just what in the difference of how he looks, just I think they even showed like 2019, maybe 2018. He was wearing
Mhm.
maybe a Jaguars jersey and he was fat, and then now he's like
Mm.
ripped up and he's boxing like just destroying. They said he wants to fight, so I would 100% watch that.
I would definitely watch it. I really though, like, out of, like, just, like, moral compass, kinda hope he doesn't. Dude's 53 years old. I don't think he needs to step in the ring
Well,
with anybody.
dude didn't get
Like
hit a lot. Like
yeah.
his fights did not last
But at the
long.
same time, when I see these training videos he posts where he's moving so fast and like weaving, bob weave, his footwork is just
Yeah,
insane. And then he's just throwing with such power. I don't know how the guy sits there and holds the
yeah,
pads for him.
yeah.
Like, I don't know how you do that. Like you did probably end up with so many damn
You
broken bones in your damn
you
palm
think
of your
about it though,
hand
like,
from it.
so I always think about this, like, oh man, where does that talent come from? And I think a lot of it's genetics. Cause so like I think that you rope him into the same like genetic like superiority as like a Brett Favre with his arm strength and Nolan Ryan with his arm strength. Because I
Mhm.
think that that's the same athletic ability, the punching and then the arm strength. I think that they're very very well in the same. And I think that if you would have trained Mike Tyson to be a pitcher, he might have been a really good pitcher, just because I think he has a
Yeah.
natural way.
It
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. It's funny that you say that because Justin
Uh huh.
Gaethje, uh, he the other day when I was watching him on Rogan's podcast, he was flat out saying because he was like, I think the reason why I am so quick to pick up striking
Uh huh.
techniques, he said, is because of him being a multi-sport athlete growing up. He's like, I played baseball. The motion's very
Yeah. Yeah.
similar.
Well, I
So
mean,
like he's like it didn't take much to pick it up. My arm strength was already there
and
from doing that.
watch Nolan Ryan
So
when he gets attacked by Ventura, like he just he just
yeah.
destroys him. You know, like,
Yeah.
and he was old. Like, why? Why would you do that? And then,
Mhm.
I can imagine getting a right hook from freaking Brett Favre back in the day. You know,
Oh.
like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah. Well, hell, even MJ knew how to throw it, you know? Just ask Steve
know.
Kerr. But Even he knows
Yeah,
how.
so that's hilarious, by the way. He got
And he
paid.
technically, if you think about it, Michael Jordan did play
Yeah,
baseball,
yeah.
so
Well, he grew up playing
which
baseball.
yeah,
He just
um,
wasn't built for
which
baseball. He's too damn tall.
you know what's funny though is people say that he was like, no, he wasn't the greatest at baseball like he was with basketball, but his stat
Oh, it's not
line in
bad.
the
It wasn't bad.
minors was not
It was above
terrible.
200.
Like yeah, they were talking about that in his thing, like and with his type of work ethic, there's no doubt that he would have probably
Been in the
eventually
majors.
probably made it.
It
You
reminds me
know,
of Tim Tebow. Everybody was, crapping on Tim Tebow. Obviously, Tim Tebow was not as like I would equate Tim Tebow's college career to MJ's pro career. That makes sense.
Huh,
Like not like not
yeah,
saying that okay. Don't get me wrong.
not goat
Okay.
status, but he had a good
Like
run.
if you just take Tim Tebow's window of college only, he was one of the greatest of
Mhm,
all time quarterbacks, right? And then you put him in baseball,
mhm,
and he's doing well in baseball, and then he even got a opportunity to go to camp to go to the spring training with the Mets. Obviously, coronavirus totally screwed that up, but I think that people forget that these guys are natural athletes and they are hard workers and they are like their work ethic is insane. And I think Tebow got screwed even with the Broncos. Those dudes hadn't won a playoff game in forever, and he goes and takes them to a playoff game. And they're like, "Yeah, we don't like the way you play. Your arm, your release for the ball isn't fast enough. It's stupid. Build an offense around that dude,
yep,
and I think you win games. You know what I mean? Just because like he was that like
mhm,
you may not score 38 points a game, but you're gonna win. Like, you're gonna go 11 and
yep,
5, and you may win a damn Super Bowl because that dude can game. And it was the same thing with Doug Flutie. They didn't give him a chance because they didn't like his measurables. But that's what I love about the
yeah,
Ravens. They're like, hey, we're gonna embrace this dude. He may not sling the
mhm,
rock 45 times, but he's gonna run for 200 yards and then throw for 200 yards, and we're gonna win.
yeah. What I find crazy too though is the teams that are out there trying to kind of reinvent and improve the wheel per se. They're the ones that are always, like that are making these playoff runs,
'Cause nobody's
championship runs,
ready
things like
for it.
that. Don't get me wrong, there there's a couple of teams that play the traditional style that make it, deep, make those runs, like, obviously, like Tom Brady type deal, but the thing is I think it's so dumb when teams who don't have anything in place, they pick up a guy that's a little bit different, doesn't have your traditional measurables, and they just cast him out instead of building them around or building a game plan around that style and just working with what you got. I bet you would, like you were saying, you would end up winning games. I just don't understand why everybody feels you have to play like that traditional
Yeah.
style. Because the teams that are venturing out, they're the ones that are currently doing pretty well.
Yeah. Well,
So
I think it comes down to laziness from the GMs and from the coaches. You gotta, and that's one thing
yeah.
that Mike McCarthy came to Dallas saying. He's like, it's players, not schemes. He was like, we will build the scheme around the players we have. So he's like,
Yeah.
based on what talent we have is how we're gonna play. And I loved hearing that because it was the opposite with Jason Garrett. It was all about the scheme, 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 scheme. Well, if you don't have the personnel to fit, you could have issues because you have
Mhm.
deficiencies. But I think it comes down to
Yeah.
teams being lazy on the creative piece. Like, if you notice, the same thing in movies and music. People that can't
Mhm.
change with the times, they go off. They're done. Like, who's
Yeah.
really good at it is Drake. Drake always figures out how to get right back into it. You know what I mean? Like, he changes a little
Yeah.
bit with the
Always.
but like,
Well, just think about it. Remember that, I think I sent you the screenshots of it, from the end of last year, at the end of 2019, Spotify, basically, like, gave you, like, your top playlist of the decade or whatever, and, dude, from, like, 2 I wanna say from, like, 2013 maybe until now, Drake has been, like, the number 1 person on my pl that I've played throughout
yeah,
that time.
yeah,
He like I have p and then the rest of the spots, like, are usually just, like, different
Yep.
artists. None of them are really the same, except for that one. He found a way to stay relevant the entire
Yeah,
time.
and I think that teams need to take need to do that same thing is they need
Yep.
to either be really, 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 really good at what they do, and everybody on that team does their job just like the Patriots, or be like
Mhm.
the 49ers and Ravens were and Chiefs were and be dynamic. And like Andy Reid, God bless that guy because he was always kind of on that cutting edge of offense and he just never had
Mhm.
the right personnel. And then the one time he gets it, he's like, "We're winning the damn Super Bowl," and he had
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, and they don't play a traditional.
I'm glad that he got
Yeah,
one, uh, already, 'cause he put it he's put in
yeah,
his time and
absolutely.
the
I
effort to
hated
get
his team
one.
that he was on, but you always seemed to like him. He just seemed like a good dude. Like,
Yeah.
like it's just like, man,
Yeah.
that's a good dude.
Yeah. He seems like the coach that's, like he's older than like, a lot older than the players, so he doesn't relate to 'em as far as, like, how maybe a younger coach
He's like
would
a
per se,
grandpa.
but yeah, exactly. He strikes me as, like, the coach that's maybe got, like, a little sandwich on the sideline at practice, just kinda, like, calling out plays and just kinda bullshitting with them, like, in a, like you said, like, in a
Yeah,
grandpa-like way, like, the
eating
entire time. That's the way I
cheeseburgers
envision it,
and
but
milkshakes.
yeah. I mean, I could be wrong. I could just be fat shaming him right now because he's kinda
No,
big,
no,
but
he talks about it all the time. Um,
yeah. I was loving the memes they were making of him where he's, like, he's got his hand in the, like, number 1 or whatever, and he's, like, all
yeah,
excited, and it was, like, when you find out you're 1 win away from, like, fast food buffet at the White
yeah, yeah,
House.
yeah, yeah.
I was dying.
I love it.
I was
No, that's
dying. But
no, man. Like, so just switching gears a little bit. Well, I went camping this past weekend. Not like yesterday. That would have been like the week of the Memorial Day weekend, and
yeah.
obviously, like it was raining and whatever up here, and we went on the border of Canada, U.S. Lake Metagoshi. It's a pretty nice little camping area up there. And it was raining all day Sunday, whatever. But the coolest thing was that they had that golf tournament. It was Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods versus Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson, and they were raising money for COVID-19 relief and all that stuff. Um, and I'll tell you, man, it could change the way we watch golf, and I think I'll enjoy it 100% if they do it this way. They mic'd them up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That was
like
cool. I did like that.
they were talking shit to each other, and like you watch it, and Tom Brady shanking balls left and right, looking like us out there playing, and then he hits
Yeah.
this beautiful iron shot for a birdie, and
From 100 yards, dude.
yeah, and it was awesome. Like, and then he just like turned it around, and after Charles Barkley was talking shit to him, and I just thought that was super cool. And just seeing, Tiger, how good of a coach he is with putting and helping Peyton Manning out, and you see that you can tell Peyton Manning is retired because he's playing golf pretty well. And then Tommy
Yeah.
is like, I just got to focus on football. I've been in training camp, which absolutely he has been at, football, playing football. And then Phil Mickelson always making crazy shots like usual. But I thought that was such a cool dynamic. And then miking those dudes up and having like Justin Thomas out there running around with them, talking to them. And I thought it was a really cool event. They
Yeah.
raised like $20 million. I just thought it was just overall one of the best golf events I've ever watched, besides the Ryder Cups. Um, but could you
Yeah.
imagine miking up Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, Brooks Koepka, Tiger even, and Roy McIlroy. Imagine miking those dudes up.
Yeah. Dude, I wish they would mic players up across all sports, but, before we move on to that though, like, with the golf tournament, that was it so cool though, like, seeing them, like, play like that but it's so unfair, like you were saying. Peyton Manning, obviously, like I said, is probably playing a lot of
Yep.
golf. Tom Brady just, got done playing playoff
Well,
football not too long
and he
ago.
they started
So,
training camp up again. So I literally right before that, I
yeah.
saw him in a Bucks uniform.
Mhm. But as far as the mics go, dude, I think that was great. What I really like is the fact that Tom Brady knew what the, like, commentators were saying too.
Yeah,
So when he hit that shot, he was like, "Yeah, Charles, like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
now?"
Well, he was talking to
Like
him
the
right before
yeah,
that.
so I thought that was cool. Like, that was real cool. He was like he gave him so much shit before that shot, and then he hits it, and he was like, "Yeah, joke's on you,
Well,
bud."
well, what was
But, and then he sucked again the
Well, what
rest
was
of the
cool
day.
about the Tom Brady
But
one was, after that shot, he was all happy and stuff, but, driving, from hole to hole, it takes a while, and Tom
yeah.
Brady was telling stories about hazing rookies, and, yeah, or
Oh,
and
nice.
getting hazed by Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe dyed his socks blue, and it made his feet blue. He didn't know it, and it made his feet blue. He said his feet were blue or purple, for, like, weeks. He was like yeah.
That's funny.
So,
That's good. That's a
yeah.
good move. But yeah, man, dude, I wish though in sports in general, I wish they would mic up all
Oh,
the
man.
players whenever all that resumes. Like like they do it sometimes, like in the NFL, like they'll put a mic on like a QB or like a receiver or something like that. I wish they would put like a mic, like if they could find a way to make it small enough to where it's not gonna bother the players, just boom, put it right there, like maybe on the collar of their shirt or something like that, or like I said, somewhere. Dude, that would be so cool just to, like, be able to listen in to whatever they say, like, kinda have it like, think about NASCAR. You ever been to a
Yeah.
NASCAR race? And you know how they give you the little
Yep,
headset with the
yep.
scanners, and you can, like, go to the different pit crews? They should have it something like that where you can, like, listen to, like, alright, like, if my favorite player is this guy, I can listen to what he's
Yeah, I
saying
like
throughout
it.
the game,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And think about how cool that'd be for, like, kids watching too,
Oh,
because they could
man.
see, like, what, like, the players
The
are
players would have
actually
to watch and
thinking
stuff.
about, doing.
They
Yeah,
can't be
gotta
cussing.
well, yeah, true, but yeah,
They
I
gotta
guess
learn somehow.
that's true. Yeah.
But
The kids would be
yeah,
alright. They'll be okay.
it'd be alright.
It's just words.
I think
They'll be
baseball could
alright.
really benefit from miking up. I think football is too
Oh,
intense of a
100%.
sport. I would love to
I
hear
agree.
it, but it would be really tough to mic them up. Basketball,
Yeah,
same. I think it's too intense of a sport.
yeah.
Um, Especially for TV, I would love it. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think that they would have a really trouble monitoring it for the what's it called? The FCC. Like
Oh, yeah, the
I just don't
censorship
see it working
guidelines and
yeah,
stuff.
working very well. But baseball, they could
Yeah,
monitor it pretty easy. Because you mic up the
yeah,
outfielders and the infielders, and they could be talking, like um
yeah,
uh I would love to hear the chatter of basketball. So now what you do is you mic them up, and then you go back and let us watch that shit, and then you'd be like, "Hey, this is rated X or whatever, or not X, but rated."
rated X. What
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
basketball
yeah,
games
yeah.
you watching, buddy?
No, no. So, but for the the language or whatever, and then the NFL, I'd like to hear like every time the quarterback what he's saying, and then hear like one defensive lineman talking shit to each other. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I just like yeah, I wanna hear what they say after, like, they make
Oh
a
yeah.
big hit type deal, like but
Yeah. Oh, I would.
mm,
And now, if you had that option, like if you did it for like you said, like if you were like a kid or something, and your parents say you had to have a parent there to sign off to get the radio or whatever to listen to a player, like, hey, like there's gonna
mhm,
be expletives or whatever. Are you okay with that? Cool. Then I think you could do it, but I think it'd be hard to do it on TV unless you did it on like a
yeah,
cable or something. But usually it's like free air. It'd be hard to do.
yeah. Even if the XFL doesn't come back, I wish they would kinda do what they were doing, where they interviewed players, like,
Dude,
mid-game
I
and
like
stuff,
that
but,
a
like,
lot.
the NFL is not ever gonna do that, but, I
I
mean,
liked
I
that
don't
a
think they would at
lot.
least, but I
Yeah, it
enjoyed
was
it.
cool.
Yeah,
No, it absolutely was cool.
but I think the NFL players, they're not gonna do it because I think they're a little
I
bit
want to
too,
focus.
yeah, a little they're they're focused, and then, like you said, it's I don't think they wanna give those interviews like that, like, during the middle of the game. I feel like in the XFL, it was kinda one of those they're forced to have to do it,
Yep.
you know? So they probably didn't necessarily wanna be doing it either. They probably wanted to focus as well. So,
Yeah.
um,
But so I got
mm, mm,
something
mm.
for you. So if right now what show are you watching? If you had a choice, like just
A
yeah,
TV
TV
show?
show. What you got?
Hmm,
Doesn't have to be Netflix. It can be
let's
anything.
see.
You know, if you're watching,
Yeah.
Price is Right or whatever. I don't know. You know.
Surprisingly, man, uh, show I've been really on, it's this show called 60 Days In. You ever heard of it?
Is that the one where they send civilians to jail?
Yeah, it's like the show's been out for a little bit, but it's available on
Uh-huh.
Hulu for, like,
Uh-huh.
streaming. So, I've been watching that, dude. It's been funny, or not really funny, but it's been, like, crazy. Like, you get some of these people that go in there and they're like, "Yeah, like, Imma make it, like, I ain't taking no
Yeah.
shit." And then, like, 2 days in, they're, like, giving the distress signal, and they're like, "I gotta get
Yeah,
outta
yeah.
here. Da da da
I love
da."
that.
Like, it's fucking
Yeah, I
crazy.
love that.
But
No, I wanna watch that show, actually. I need to start watching it. I watched, it wasn't necessarily a TV show. I'm gonna start Space Force at some point, but,
oh, dude, I need to watch that. I put it on the list. I was gonna start it today, but Ashley wasn't home,
yeah,
and
same
she
with
wants to
Megan,
watch it
yeah.
too.
I,
So, yeah.
no, I wanna
She's got a time limit, though. If she don't start watching it with me by a certain point, Imma watch it by myself.
Sorry.
Can't be falling behind.
No, I watched Wrong Missy.
Oh, dude, I watched that
Oh,
earlier today.
man. It's so cringy, but it's so good. It's hilarious. I'm,
Yeah.
like, covering my
Yeah.
eyes at points in the movie. I'm like, "Oh." Like,
Dude,
that girl they picked is
the yeah.
hilarious. Like, she
Yeah. She she was funny, man. It was definitely a little bit of a
yeah,
gimmicky move, but it was
and
too
David
funny, man.
Spade and Nick
Like
Swardson looks terrible.
like, when dude, yeah, I was thinking the same dude, so he's doing the opposite of
Yeah,
Jonah Hill, man. Jonah Hill's
yeah,
getting in shape, like, looking good, and then, like, you got Nick Swardson, he's just letting
looks
it go, man.
terrible.
He looks like he's been drinking with Bruce Butcher.
And his hair's going away now, like, I'm like, "What is wrong with this guy?" Midlife crisis, the wrong way.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he looks like he's struggling, man. He's
So,
enjoying life,
that was a
I'm
Happy
assuming.
Madison movie, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was Happy Madison. Dude, Happy Madison Productions got such
Yeah,
great movies.
what was that other one? All the Adam Sandler shit's awesome. There was a The Do-Over, um,
Yeah, The Do-Over,
with Adam Sandler and,
Just Go
Just
With
Go
It, I
Let's
think
Do
was
It,
one
and
of
he's
them.
got so many good ones, like
Yeah. Dude, so many good damn movies on that. Let's see what movies are on that.
yep.
Grown Ups, dude, that's another fucking funny movie. That one's funny for sure. Oh, dude, Grandma's Boy.
On
That's one without
Netflix?
Adam Sandler in it. No, I don't know if it's on Netflix. I'm just
Oh.
saying, movies that are Happy Madison
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Productions.
yep, yep.
Uh, Joe Dirt, you
Oh,
ever seen
yeah,
that?
Joe Dirt, Joe
That's the shit.
Dirt.
Fucking Joe Dirt,
I
dude,
forget how
yeah.
many movies David
Oh, that
Spade's in there, they're just hilarious.
yeah, another good, funny guy, uh, fucking Rob
Yep, yep,
Schneider. Deuce
yep,
Bigelow.
Deuce Bigelow,
Deucey?
and then him in, Grown Ups is hilarious, his
Yep.
daughters and stuff.
He's got all these hot daughters, and they're like, "Where's this coming from?" And then all of a sudden, the one ugly one shows up, and they're
Ah,
like, "Ah,
there it is.
there it is." Oh,
Love that.
man. Mm. You got any shows you've been watching too?
Besides, I'm really bad about shows, man, like, I'll watch a couple and then I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Uh,
I wanna get into
oh,
Ozark,
yeah,
man.
so I watched the first episode of that, and I was like, "Yo, this is gonna be a good show, but it's gonna take some investment." Um,
Yeah.
so I was recommended to watch Altered Carbon. They said that was
Yeah.
really, really good, and then, I've been watching, Longmire, and, I absolutely love that show. I don't know why, like, it's a really good show, and then, Yellowstone's coming out in, like, a couple weeks, and it's got Kevin Costner in it and all that, and I really like that show, so,
Mhm.
um, I like that show because there's only, like, 4 episodes a season, but each episode is, like, 2
Mhm.
hours. So I can watch, like I can watch it in, like, a few settings, and I'm not gonna forget what the hell happened, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a movie. I watch one movie, another movie, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, which I enjoy that
Yeah.
part of it, but
Did you ever watch The Umbrella Academy? They
no,
got
I
a
need to
second
watch
season
that. I
coming out
I was
here
talking to
soon.
Megan about that, I think that'll be a good one. But I wanna watch.
Dude, you've gotta watch it, man. That one's dude, it's a little weird, it's a little strange, but,
I like those
like,
movies.
it's
Oh,
really good, though. Like,
it's the
I
superheroes,
it
right?
just kinda yeah, kinda, sorta. Uh, it's like a weird type of superhero movie, like, um, it's more adultish, like, kinda like Deadpool, but not, like,
Have you
raunchy like
have you
how
seen The
Deadpool is.
Boys? That's the
Uh-uh.
same way. It's, Amazon, it's about superheroes, but they're like the way I explain it is, it's like if you were to make, um, superheroes, actors, and musicians and athletes, and then go into their dark, deep secrets, and then it's like that. It's like, the fastest man alive, he's like a super athlete, but he's like, they're like, they have like a superhero, like, NFL type thing, like a league, and, they all get hired by different agents, and they're these terrible people. And there's like a uprising against them of normal people that are trying to kill these superheroes. It's really good. It's on Amazon.
What is this one
Boys,
called? Okay, I'll have to check that one out. That one's that sounds a little
yeah, but it's like
crazy,
really
but
not raunchy, but it's like really adult. Um, and there's
mhm.
like it starts off, and this is why I knew I was gonna like it. It starts off, and I mean, spoiler alert, sorry, but it starts off. There's a dude's like kissing his girlfriend, and she's like kind of like she's like on the edge of the sidewalk, and the fastest man alive just speeds by and blows her out. Like he just like eliminates her. Like she just blows up into blood in front of his face because he runs through
Oh,
her.
shit. That's cr
Yeah, it's like the first scene. You're like, what the
yeah.
hell? So, I recommend that. And then I want to watch. So the three shows I want to watch: The Last Kingdom, Altered.
I
Yeah,
started that one, but
get into it.
for whatever reason, I didn't keep couldn't
Everybody
get
says it's
into it,
good.
but
The Last Kingdom, Altered Carbon, I wanna watch that, and then, obviously, Space Force, and then, I wanna watch The Umbrella Academy.
yeah.
Those are my
Yeah, they
shows. Will I ever get to
let's
them?
see,
Probably
what
not.
yeah, that's how I feel, man, like, I have all these things that I add to my list, and I
I watch
never end
movies
up
because there's
watching
not
them.
as big of an investment.
Yeah. Yeah, you invest a hour of your time and, you're done or 2 hours of your time
Yeah.
and you're done, but let's see. I don't think I have anything new added to my list as of lately from what I'm looking at here. I'm looking, let's see. Yeah. I haven't I haven't really been on other than Ozark, man. I've been trying to watch that.
I hear good things about that
Um,
show.
yeah, I did the same thing as you though. I watched the first episode and I was like, "Man, this is good," but I just have not gotten around to watching the next
Yeah,
episode
well,
yet.
it feels like an
But
emotional investment.
yeah, I mean, dude, it's a 45-minute long episode and that first episode at least seems like an absolute
Yeah,
roller
yeah, I
coaster,
know, I'm
you
like, "Oh
know?
my god."
Spo spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't started watching it yet, but there's 3 seasons out, so if you haven't watched the first episode, suck a dick if you're mad about it, the spoiler. But, um, it just it it's one of those, like, he goes from where he's, like, sitting in this office talking to clients while watching porn at the same time, which was
Yeah,
just weird, but, like,
yeah,
whatever, man,
T
like,
yeah,
to each its own, finds out that this dude that his wife has been hooking up with ends up, like she tries to empty his accounts and all this stuff, and the cartel's trying to
Yep,
kill
and then he's
him,
like,
and,
"Get a
like,
new job and
dude, I
peace."
was yeah, and I'm like, "Whoa, all this over 1 episode? Jesus, what," I was like, "What is the rest of this season gonna be like?"
I love it.
But, yeah, that it's gonna be a good one. I need to watch it, I just haven't done it yet, but that it's definitely on the
Heck
list.
yeah.
Um,
You know what else needs to be on the
but,
list?
yeah.
NHL 20.
Dude, yes, I agree, and to be honest with you, man, we're coming up on an hour and a half. I'd be down to switch over to some
Yeah,
NHL 20, bro.
quarter.
We were on a roll
Yeah,
the other night. For all y'all that don't know, because we weren't streaming it, we were murdering
yeah,
folks. I think we won, like,
yep,
5 in a row,
yep,
something like that. Haven't played that good in a
yep.
long time. But yeah, man. But no, thanks for everybody, tuning in as always. Um, keep some more shit coming to you guys. Um, every 2 weeks right now, like what we said a couple weeks ago. Just gonna try and go every 2 weeks until sports actually get back. Um, oh, before we get out of here, we didn't even talk about it, dude. Fucking hockey, bro.
Yeah. Well,
The Dallas Stars top four
yeah,
seed whenever we
if we
resume
do.
play.
Well,
'Cause
let's
they're
let's
gonna
talk let's table it for the next episode, give us something to talk about.
fuck it. Hell yeah, we
Alright?
will. So y'all be on the lookout for that. And on that note, we'll end it and we'll say go Stars,
Yeah.
and we'll catch y'all later.
Peace.